And welcome back to Metropole Sports Center. My name is Nation Oano. As I promised you, in the second part of the show, we are going to be talking and crunching down the numbers in the UEFA Nations League in our Money Ref segment. Is just the numbers in the UEFA Nations League. That is, the prize money in League A is £2.25 million. In League B, that is £1.5 million, and in League C is £1.125 million. Away from matters UEFA Nations League, I'm joined in studio today by our sports analyst, that is Ian Keitany, and we're here to talk about the English Premier League and the dismal, so to speak, of inconsistent performance of Manchester United in the English Premier League. Keitany, nice to have you on Metropole Sports Center once again.
Thank you so much, Nation. It is always a pleasure being here.
I know we are starting the show at the backdrop of France winning the UEFA Nations League. Very quickly, is that which team were you in support at the UEFA Nations League?
As you always know, I'm always a France, supporter. So I'm glad that we won the Nations League, and just on top of that, 3 Manchester United players were in that winning squad.
Speaking of Manchester United, Pogba seems to be doing very well at when he's donning the national colours. But at Manchester United, it's usually a mixed reaction. You're going to be talking about Paul Pogba later on. Looking at Manchester United at the moment, you seem to be blowing hot and cold, and your problems seem like they're just beginning, because your key centre-backs or your key defenders are going to be out of key games in the subsequent week. That is, Harry Maguire is out on injury. How do you think this is going to change the team dynamic as it is right now?
I mean, it's just going to be a difficult spell, because not having Harry Maguire and of course Rafael Varane is a big blow to Manchester United. It now means we have to bring in our backup centre backs, which includes Eric Bailly and of course Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof is more of a starter for me, because we've played with him. They've been partnering with Harry Maguire for the past couple of seasons or so, and it's been okay. Now the problem comes because without Harry Maguire, some people talk about Harry Maguire not being so good for Manchester United. Apparently he was overpriced, but people don't appreciate how integral Harry Maguire has been for that Manchester United squad, because for the 78 games that he has played for Manchester United, we've kept 27 clean sheets. For the 5 games that he has failed to play for United, we've kept 0 clean sheets. I mean, that is something that, it sounds, it's like an alarm or something. So it's basically a big blow now that Eric Bailly has not been playing. He will come in. It's good to note as well that of all the, in games that we've used our backup centre backs, we've not won. We are winning less than 5 games that we've used our centre back. So looking at the round of games that we have, Atlanta, Leicester City, Atlanta, Manchester, Liverpool, Tottenham, Villarreal, Manchester City, it is a very, very big test for Ole Gunnar.
Do you think Manchester United is going to be having the same problem that Liverpool had last season? Because different quarters, I personally as a pundit, I think part of the reason why Liverpool were not able to finish very well last season is because of the loss of their key man, that is Virgil van Dijk, who was out of the season. Was out of the season because of a very key injury. Do you fancy that this is the same thing that Manchester United is going to find itself? Although the injury is not going to be long, do you think it's going to have a drastic impact in terms of your finishing position at the end of the season?
I don't really think so, because Harry Maguire, I suppose, will be back after a couple of weeks, while Rafael Varane will also be back in a month or so. But all said and done, without Harry Maguire at the moment and Rafael Varane, it is a big problem. Remember, without Harry Maguire, we have conceded an average of 1.8 goals per game, but with Harry Maguire, just considered a single goal. So it will be a difficult spell. We remember what Liverpool endured last season, and it costed them the league title, because I do believe if Virgil van Dijk was there and Joe Gomez was there for the entire season, they would be champions, of course. But this is just a short spell for Manchester United. It is not like it is a long-term problem because the centre-backs will be back pretty soon. So I don't think it will be a very, very big blow as, you know, the season progresses.
Keitany, Manchester United fans are always confusing us on Twitter. Every time it's Ole in, Ole out, Ole at the wheel. What is going on? What is going on with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in charge of the squad as it is right now?
You know, that is one of the problems, you know, being one of the biggest clubs in the world. There's always pressure. But to me, sometimes the Manchester United fan base is one of the most confused fan bases in the world because one game, we win one game. The game against Leeds, we won 5-1. We're winning the title with Ole. We lose one game, Ole out, apparently. But yet again, looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is a man that tactically it looks like he has no plan because the way Manchester United play, they play like a team that, you know, depends on individual brilliance rather than a team effort or team approach. So it is a problem for Manchester United, and of course I personally don't expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be fired anytime soon, as you know, a host of Manchester United supporters do believe and do think he should be fired. But I do think the owners of Manchester United will give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time. I do expect Ole Gunnar to be you know, fired if he fails to win anything, or if, you know, fails to win a silver this season. At the start of next season he'll not be there, but if, you know, he wins something, he'll still be there. But again, if you look at Manchester United, since Sir Alex Ferguson left his role at the club, we've been struggling. We've been, you know, changing managers here and there. After 1 year we fire a manager, we bring in another one. After 8 months we fire one. So it is something that you know, Shilenge was talking about, changing managers not being so good. So it is about time. Let's, you know, just stick with him because apparently he's not also going to be fired anytime soon. So let's just give him time. At the end of the season, we will see what he can do. But again, he has to show that he has something, he has a plan with this team. What is the identity of Manchester United? What is their game plan? You know, we look at teams like Manchester City, they press, with or without the ball, they press. Now, what is the identity of Manchester United? There is no proper plan. There is no way that you can say, this is how Manchester United you know, plays. We used to be a counter-attack sort of a team. There's no more of that. There's no press. There's no motivation. You fail to understand, but hopefully we will overcome that particular spell.
Sir Alex Ferguson and Habib, the former UFC champion, were talking at the backdrop at Old Trafford in a recent game. And one of the key things they are saying is when you have key players, start your key players, because that seems to be the problem. Because you find sometimes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer releases a team lineup and you're like, why did you choose this player against this? Tactically, as a Manchester United fan, or as a football analyst, what do you think he needs to do more to change the performance of the squad?
First and foremost, I overheard that conversation where, you know, they say he should have started Christiano Ronaldo, but in that particular position, I don't have any problem because we had Cavani. I mean, Cavani is also, we've been scoring goals with Cavani, and of course, according to me personally, at the moment, Edison Cavani can offer a lot more than Cristiano Ronaldo because, of course, Ronaldo can always score, but in terms of, you know, the build-up to the build-up and, you know, pressing, Ronaldo cannot contribute much in terms of, you know, pressing and the build-up to, you know, scoring goals. So I do believe Cavani offers a lot more in terms of all that. But of course, Ronaldo can score goals at any moment. They always say you can never rule out Cristiano Ronaldo until the game is over. That was evident in the game against Villarreal in the Champions League. But again, you always have to start your important players. You cannot tell us you're resting your players because the season is long. We're just in, I think, game week 7, and you're resting players, your important players. I mean, that is something that I'd also say, it's sorry to say, but it's some sort of ignorance or something. You always have to start your best players. We've been on a poor run at home at Old Trafford. Teams come to Old Trafford and they boast the game. We're not even dominant. So I do believe it is something that Ole has to look into. Again, looking at part of the problems that we have at Manchester United, the midfield. We signed centre-backs. We brought in Rashford. He's an exceptional centre-back. You know, attacking-wise, we have quality players. The problem sometimes, and most of the times, is at the middle of the pack. I mean, we don't have, especially in the defensive midfield role, we don't have what you know, our opponents do have. Manchester City do have the likes of, you know, Rodri, the likes of Jorginho for Chelsea, the likes of you know, Fabinho for Liverpool. These are players who are very, very high quality players, and they just play. You know, it's a single a role for all these clubs. For Manchester United, we do play with Fred and of course Scott McTominay. So it is something that Ole has to also work on that to make sure that we can get results.
Interesting you mentioned, people are now calling him Mr. Siu, that is Cristiano Ronaldo. The key thing about Cristiano Ronaldo is how he has overshadowed most of the players at Manchester United. I mean, he is a big personality and a big player, so to speak. But right now, all the conversation with relation to Manchester United seems to be focused on Cristiano Ronaldo. Right now, we are not hearing so much of Bruno Fernandes. How do you think bringing Cristiano Ronaldo to Old Trafford has affected the team morale of the players to perform or not to perform?
You know, bringing in Ronaldo is one of the greatest players in the world, arguably the greatest, alongside Lionel Messi. Now, bringing him at Old Trafford, we of course were thrilled because we brought our boy back. Now, the pressure that the name Ronaldo puts in Solskjaer and the entire club is, you know, is huge. And having young players, before Ronaldo came in, Mason Greenwood, to be specific, had scored 3 goals in 3 games. After the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, he's not had an assist or a goal to show for. So I do believe it has, you know, dented the confidence of some of the players. Sancho is not, you know, is not where we expected him to be, but we're giving him time. But it's like all the limelight has, you know, gone to Cristiano Ronaldo, and that is something that has affected the team in a very, very big way. And we expect that, I think that is one of the problems that Ole was trying to, you know, quote unquote solve by starting Ronaldo on the bench. But again, it does not help. So it is a big puzzle for Solskjaer to, you know, solve, because if all the limelight goes to Cristiano Ronaldo and, you know, other players don't perform, Bruno Fernandes that you spoke about, he was exceptional last season. He's been providing goals and assists for us. And since Ronaldo came in, you know, his performance has gone down. So it is something that we really do have to work on.
Interesting you mentioned Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes actually picked most of the match balls and took them home. I saw him the other day. He was joking with the wife at, hey, I have another ball coming with it, strapped it next to his front car seat. Marcus Rashford is about to make his comeback. Actually, word has it that he's going to be starting against Leicester this coming weekend. Where does this place your front, you know, your attacking front? Because Marcus Rashford is there, Jadon Sancho, you've not really used him that much, considering the fact that you guys looked for him for 2 seasons. You have Mason Greenwood, we have Lingard, who was on loan but came back to Manchester United. How do you think that is going to change the dynamic? Because now that's another dilemma for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Rashford is there, so how do you see this playing out against Leicester?
First of all, I'm a huge Marcus Rashford fan. I know exactly.
Dr. Marcus Rashford,
MBE. I know a huge, some of the Manchester United fans do think Rashford is not the player that he should be, but I do believe he offers a lot more going forward, because that is what we lack. If you look at, you know, the 7 games that we've just played with Mason Greenwood, and sometimes fatigue plays in. This boy is a boy, you know, sometimes it looks like he lacks confidence. Now, Marcus Rashford coming in, it provides competition in that particular squad. Remember when we brought in Alex Telles, for example, Luke Shaw was not performing you know, exceptionally. But ever since Telles came in, it was a wake-up call for Luke Shaw, and he's been performing exceptionally well. So the, you know, Marcus Rashford coming back, it is a big boost for Manchester United. And personally, I don't know if he'll start tomorrow, like you've said, and probably he'll be involved in the match. But looking at the entire squad, I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should play Jadon Sancho, Ronaldo at number 9, Bruno Fernandes at number 10, and of course Marcus Rashford on the other side. That would be the most efficient, you know, attacking threat that we have, or attacking quality of players that we have and do expect to offer a lot more.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ian Keitany, for talking matters, you know, Manchester United and the English Premier League. Very quickly before I release you, how do you see your game against Leicester panning out?
We're winning that game confidently, despite the fact that we lack our centre backs, Rafael Varane and Harry Maguire. We're winning that game confidently. That I can assure you. But also looking forward into the run of games that we have. Manchester United do always perform, do give the best in big games. And if you look back at what has happened before, when Ole Gunnar is under pressure, that is when we always give our best. That is when we always perform. So I expect Manchester United to win that particular game.
Okay. Thank you so much, Keitany. I'm going, just keep your DM open because you know the banter that usually comes there. Now, the following are just some of the things that you need to watch out in the Events Watch segment of our show. The following are games that are going to be played this weekend. As I mentioned in the first part of the show, that is in the CAF Champions League, Tusker is going to be playing against Zamalek. Etoile de Sahel versus APR, Sagrad Esperance versus Royal Leopards, and ASEC versus CR Belzidad. Al Merrikh versus Zanaco, Al Ittihad versus ES Tunis, Rivers United versus Al Hilal, and Mamelodi Sundowns versus Maniema Union. In the Italian Serie A, the following games are going to be played. That is Salernitans versus Spezia, Lazio versus Inter Milan, and Milan versus Verona, and Cagliari versus Sampdoria, Udinese versus Bologna, Genoa versus Sassuolo. And in the English Premier League, the following are just some of the games that are going to be played. That is Watford versus Liverpool, Southampton versus Leeds United, Leicester City versus Manchester United, Manchester City versus Burnley, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. You're going to be squaring it out against a former player, that is Patrice Vieira. Newcastle versus Tottenham Hotspurs. That's a very interesting tie, considering that Newcastle United have new owners. That is the Public Investment Consortium that is from Saudi Arabia. French League, PSG versus Angers, Clement Foot versus Lille, Lyon versus Monaco, Troyes versus Nice, and Montpellier versus Lens. Now, that's all the time that we had on Metropole Sports Center this week. Do wish you a fantastic weekend. See you next week, same place, same time.